Hey guys, I hope everybody's doing amazing. So, welcome to part 6 of our membership that makes money series. And one of the reasons this series to me is so critical is that every day, and if you see this too, I want you to go ahead and say me in the chat. Every day, I see so many amazingly gifted entrepreneurs giving away their money, giving away their time, giving away their energy by starting free Facebook groups. It's bad. I know there's not a day that goes by that I don't get invited to at least 4 or 5 free Facebook groups. It's bad. And then you go in some of these groups and they are giving away a ton of valuable information, but it's almost like there's a catch 22 to it because they're giving away so much information and there's not really any shape or form to it that the people that are consuming it just get information overload, and so they don't do anything because you're just getting pilfered with do this and do that and do this and do that, and there's not any really rhyme or reason or discussion around it. So basically these people are just giving away their knowledge for no reason, not making any money. A lot of that knowledge is being stolen. A lot of those people are in those groups and taking that knowledge and turning around and making money from it. So before you start a free group or before you keep running your free Facebook group, you need to watch this video because it is super important that you not continue to do what you're doing. If you don't realize how quickly your money will go down the drain if you don't start monitoring what you do with your time, then this should be a wake-up call to each and every one of you. And I hope you use it accordingly. So with that being said, let me go ahead and get started. So if those of you who don't know who I am, of course, my name is Danielle Patterson Winningham. I'm a former JP Morgan Chase Vice President, Master Life, Master Business Coach, and I run several different brands and I monetize each and every one of them. And if you haven't shared the broadcast, go over to Facebook and share the broadcast. I monetize each and every one of my brands because I learned a long time ago that if I wanted to stay off of somebody's job, then I had to make sure that I was doing what I needed to do to make money. I had to make sure that beyond a shadow of a doubt, I was bringing home the bacon and frying it up in a pan so that my family could eat. And if you're not doing the same thing, then you need to be. So let's talk about why should you be monetizing your Facebook groups? And I always tell this one story. So if you've heard it, bear with me. But if not, you got a lot to learn. I always tell this story of eating free for a year. Imagine inviting people over to your house for a year. Every day, they could come whenever they wanted to. They can eat whatever they wanted to. You're going to cook a nice meal every day. They can eat as much as they want, drink much tea, water, lemonade as they want. You're not going to ask them to clean up. You're not going to ask them to bring anything. For a year, they get to come to your house and eat for free. At the end of the year, you say, well, you know what, guys? I've been spending a lot of money on food, a lot of money on tea and bottled water, lemonade, a lot of time cooking and cleaning. I want to start charging you guys $5 a day. $5 a day. Anybody been to a soul food restaurant anytime soon? Me and Troy went to Mickey's yesterday. They want $13, $14 for a spaghetti plate. They want almost $20 for an oxtail plate. Hello? But I want to just charge you $5. The food is good, homemade food quality. Do you know what the majority of people would say? The majority of people would either complain or stop going. How many of you agree with me? If you agree with me, say me in the chat. The majority of them would either complain or stop going. Somebody tell me why. You can't get $5 for food in McDonald's. You definitely can't get $5 for food from Chick-fil-A. And Chick-fil-A is good, but ain't no telling last time that chicken sent a chicken farm. That's absolutely right, Miriam, because it's been free. Because you have spent so long giving away a free meal that you have taught them that your meals have no value. I'm a wait. Some of y'all, that's a wake-up call for somebody here today. I want you to think about something you're doing right now, that you've been doing it so long that the people around you have forgotten that it has value. Yeah. Whether it's your friends, whether it's your job. Let's talk about your job. Go to your job and start doing things that are outside of your job assignment. It won't be long before they start assigning those things to you. See, we was taught all wrong. We were taught that we need to go above and beyond to quote unquote prove ourselves. We were taught that we needed to do more. How many of you were taught that? Go ahead and say me. We needed to do more than everybody else to get a promotion, more than everybody else to get a raise, more than everybody else to get to the next level. We had to do so much more than everybody else. And in doing so much more for our men, for our jobs, for our kids, that more that we do quickly becomes taken for granted. And that's right, Morning. If you don't get reprogrammed, if you don't start saying to yourself, I am worth more, the world will continue to take advantage of you. They will. They will. So again, if you haven't gone by Facebook to stop by to share the broadcast, please make sure you do. Especially my mentees in the room, if you could share the broadcast, that would be great. So let's talk about why you should monetize your Facebook group. It's not that the experts are wrong, because we have so many experts that are telling you that you need to have a free Facebook group. You need to have a free Facebook group. You need to have a free Facebook group. It's not that they're wrong. It's just that they look at things differently. Now, there are a few times when you would start a free Facebook group. But a year ago, Facebook had me speak at a community circles event in Houston. And I had people in the room. Thank you, Monique, for sharing. Thank you, Geraldine, for sharing. I had people in the room that had groups as many as 17,000. And these people were not charging anybody in the group $1 in any shape, form, or fashion. Somebody say, wow. They were not monetizing these groups at all. They were providing support in these groups. They were providing information in these groups, diet plans, financial information, you name it. According to the nature of the group, they were providing it. And they were not charging anybody in those groups $1. And let me tell you what happened. One of the ladies had a keto group. Thank you, Marnie, for sharing. With over 17,000 people in it. Was in there sharing meal plans for free. Somebody came in the group and took her meal plans and started selling them. Oh, she was fire hot. She was fit to be tied. How dare anybody come in my free group and take my free plans and start selling them? And I felt some kind of way because although I don't believe in stealing other people's work in any shape, form, or fashion, I thought to myself, well, maybe they didn't feel like they were stealing because it was free. Hello? Maybe they didn't feel like they were stealing. It was free. Because she didn't put a value on it, right, Jerlynn? She didn't value it. So don't get mad that somebody else took something that you felt had no value and turned it into value. Thank you, Nikki, for sharing the broadcast. So don't get mad. So let's talk about why you need to make sure you monetize your Facebook groups. Number one, people love to belong, especially now. Not only do they love to belong, but they will pay to belong. And it can be anything. It could be anything. If you saw the new Facebook commercial, I guess they're about a year old now. They got a commercial about dads with daughter groups. That was a big thing for a long time. They got cooking groups and food groups. I did a webinar on Sunday on 100 different types of monetized groups you can start. There's no end to the level of groups you can start, whether it's groups about a musical instrument or groups about caring for your parents, support groups, travel groups, fun groups, serious groups. It doesn't matter. But people love to belong, and people will pay to belong. Number two, and this is a lifelong value, and I want you to write this somewhere where you can see it every day. I'm going to give you a minute to get pen and paper. And I want you to write this somewhere you can see it every day. People don't know your value unless and until you teach them. I want you to write that down. People don't know your value unless and until you teach them. If you're waiting on the world to magically discover how much you're worth, you're going to be waiting for a long time. If you're waiting on the world to just automatically pay you what they owe you, you're going to be waiting for a long time. If you're waiting on your boss, you're waiting on your spouse, you're waiting on your kids to just one day start to appreciate everything you do, you're going to be waiting for a long time. You better start appreciating yourself and understanding your own value, and then making sure that the rest of the world rises up to greet that value. Amen. Because if you don't, you're going to continuously be undervalued, and it's going to show up in your business bank account. People don't know your value unless you teach them. Now, people start those free groups. Man, I've been invited to so many groups that don't even have anything to do with who I am or what I do. It's like people just going on a group frenzy. How many of you guys get 3 or 4 invitations a day to groups that you are not even interested in? The Kite Flying Club of America. They ain't nothing to do with me. The mothers of, the visually challenged, that ain't got nothing to do with me. The third Saturday fun seekers, that ain't got nothing to do with me. They just inviting and adding, trying to get to this magical number, when in actuality, the magical number you need to be getting to is the number in your bank account. Hello? At what point are you going to stop chasing numbers on social media and start chasing numbers at the bank? So you got to be deliberate about who you invite to these free groups. And here again, let me give you something else to write down. Now, I already told you, people don't know your value unless you teach them. They don't. People do not know your value unless and until you teach them. Let me tell you something else. Don't do anything in your business without understanding that everything in business has to have a monetary end result. If you say, I want to start a radio show, the next question you should ask yourself is, how am I going to make money? If you want to start a blog, the next question you should ask yourself is, how am I going to make money? I see you, there's only so much time in a day. And with a limited amount of time each day, it's critical that you not have any filler. So as a business, you can't afford to do those things that are not making you money. So I want you to write this down. I want you to start with the money in mind. If you're going to start a group, the worst thing you could ever think is, I'm going to start this group now and I'm going to start charging them later. That is the worst mistake that you could ever make. That's like saying, I got this man and I'm going to sleep with him and cook for him and clean for him. Oh, and he going to marry me later. Why would he? My grandma used to always say, why buy the cow when you could get the milk for free? Why would he? He's already gotten everything he can from you for free. So you got to make sure you start with the money in mind. Do you think that Walmart is over there doing anything just because? Even if, even if they're doing something for free, don't you think they're doing it for a monetary reason? They're either doing it for publicity, they're doing it for community service, they're doing it for goodwill, they're doing it for a reason. They're not just doing it to do it. They're not doing it to lose money. They're not doing it to get more followers. There is a direct monetary connection to why Walmart is doing what they're doing. And as a business owner, you owe it to yourself to have that exact same monetary connection. I want you to think about the money that you're losing. I want you to think about the money that you're losing. I had a client who started a free Facebook group, even though I asked her not to. And she ended up with 1,700 people in that group. And I think I showed you guys the math the other night that 1,700 people at $9 a month is $15,000 a month. $183,000 a year. Can anybody under the sound of my voice afford to not have $183,000 a year? Anybody? Somebody better say not me. You got to think about the money that you're losing every time you run around doing stuff for free. And once you get to that point where you say to yourself, I'm sick and tired of being broke. I'm sick and tired of not moving to the next level. I'm sick and tired of not being respected. The minute you start to say that, things are going to change. But not a moment until you understand. You understand that it is critical for your next level that you charge your worth. Last but not least, you got to know when to start a free Facebook group. We're going to be launching a course, Memberships That Make Money. It's a 16-week course. But before that, Sunday, and it's free to members, we're asking you to join us. We're going to show you how memberships set the baseline for a 7-figure empire. And I'm not even talking about free groups. I'm talking about paid memberships and how paid memberships set the baseline for a 7-figure empire. bit.ly/100 memberships is the link to join. The webinar is only $29. Of course, it's free to members of Black Girl Coin. But you got to understand that somebody taught you incorrectly when they taught you to create a free group, put knowledge in that group for free, put energy into that group, make connections in that group. I can tell you about a group right now. I think that group, matter of fact, I'm probably going to see. I think that group has the better part of 17,000 Black women in that group. Somebody say, wow. That group has the better part of 17,000 Black women in that group. Matter of fact, Let me see if I can go see. Because you know I like to be accurate. I digress. They have 22,000 black women in that group. 22,000. I want you to guess how much money they make each month. I just want you to guess real quick. If they just made $1 per member, they'd make 22,000. If they just made 50 cents per member, they'd make 11,000. If they just made a quarter per member, they'd make 5,500. If they just made 10 cents a member, they'd make 2,200. 22,000 members in this group. They make $0 and 0 cents a month off that group. 22,000 members in this group, promoting their stuff for free. 22,000 members in this group, connecting with each other for free, getting information for free, getting exposure for free. 22,000 members, and I think this group is about 5 years old. So you've dedicated your life to a 5-year-old project that doesn't make a dime for you. Don't let that be you. Don't let that be you. That's why you hire coaches. Because for half of the amount that you could have made by just charging $1 a person, a quarter a person, she could have had a coach and monetized 22,000 people. Mistakes cost a great deal of money. You don't know what you don't know. But as a business owner, it's your job to figure it out. So Sunday, go to bit.ly/100 memberships. For only $29, we're going to be talking about how memberships set the baseline for a 7-figure empire. Who knew you could use a $9, $19 a week membership to build up to 7 figures? But again, you don't know what you don't know. And that's why knowledge is so critical to the success of your business. So I'm going to get out of here, guys. But before I go, I want you to remember 2 things. Number 1, I want you to remember that people don't know your value unless and until you teach them. Now, value is an internal thing. No one can tell you how much you're worth. No one can tell you how much to charge. And with a world with billions of people, somebody somewhere is going to pay you exactly what you charge. No questions asked. Somebody has the money. And last but not least, when you're in business, stop operating without a why. Yeah, you may have a good business idea, but what makes it a great business idea is there an ability to profit from what you're doing? Is there an ability for you to generate revenue from what you're doing? Is there a chance for you to do some work and make some money? And if there's not, then don't do it. Stop guessing. Is this going to make me money? Is this not going to make me money? Stop doing that. If you don't know if it's going to make you money, either get some help or don't do it. but it's critical to the lifeblood of your business that you start and continue to measure your profits. Not just the fact that you're a business owner, not just saying, oh, hey, I'm in business, but are you profitable? And if not, being ready and being willing to get to some help to do so. Okay. Love you guys. Have a great night. And I will see you at the webinar Sunday, bit.ly/100 memberships. So you can learn how to use memberships to be the cornerstone